33 Morgan Street.
So that is a modified, what you just have in your left hand, is a modified consent for site visits. If we need to do a site visit, the property owners would prefer that Sigler Henderson, someone from Sigler Henderson is on site with us. There she is. Sorry. You're okay. We just started. Good thing.
But we assign all sorts of things to you since you weren't working.
Yeah.
I think he'll be building the village website.
Yeah, that was before Al came in, we
Yes.
volunteered you for that.
Oh, no. Something like that
You got
transpired.
volunteered.
No problem, we'll take care of it.
Right. You're wrong. Alright, you're here, I'm gonna close my computer.
Panoramic view.
Okay, Beth, tell us all about it.
Okay, so we are proposing to remove the portico on the main house, the 2005 house. It is sort of this appendage at an odd angle, and with the courtyard and the cottage and the guest house and this part of the house all being perpendicular parallel to each other, there's this sort of odd piece that comes out. It's got plastic columns, it's sort of an anomaly, and so we'd like to remove it and replace it with a roof that's similar to the other small kind of copper roofs that are on either side of the house. And so it would be sort of squared off to the courtyard. But we're asking really to remove this first and build a mock-up, because we're not entirely sure with all the angles of the roof how it would work, and it would seem like the easiest way to do it is remove this, build a mock-up, have you come to the site, look at it, and then we either, I don't know if we can photograph it or draw it up as a mixed application. So we're just asking for this part to take it down.
The issue is that we know the structural engineer designed the steel for the original structure, and it was apparently kind of cobbled together. So whatever we think we know may not actually be
What he designed is not necessarily what was
what
being
was
built.
done. So we can't, we see some anomalies that we can't quite figure out, and that's why it seems like we almost need to do,
Well, I also, just trying to draw it and make sense of it is really difficult with all the planes of the roof, and I think it would just be a better end product if we mocked it up. And so the materials will be, it will be a copper roof to match the smaller copper roofs on the building, but
And when we met in workshop last time, it's not the same configuration,
Mm.
people were here. We talked about the fact that this is recent construction, non-conforming, and that there was desirability on that courtyard to sort of square off the
Yeah.
angles, because this is sort of an anomaly of shapes there.
Yes.
That is an anomaly among the shapes on the courtyard.
Would it be approximately the same size as what exists there now?
I think it'll be smaller, and it won't project out as far. Basically, well, go ahead.
It looks like a drive-through
square it
right
off
now,
and
because it's
taking
so
all
large.
of this off.
Yeah.
Well, it's not quite large enough to be a drive-through, but yeah.
No, I mean, it's got that,
Yeah.
it extends so far out from the building, it seems like you
does, and
could.
it also, it's just at an angle that relates to nothing else on the site.
Well, it's kind of because these two volumes were kind of joined in a weird way. It's not like, this one is joined to this, but this one is like, off to the
And
side
then
weirdly.
the roof's kind of just sort of, I can't quite describe, well, it's easier to see in the pictures, like, it's It's,
Should've brought your model back.
that was kind of an embarrassing moment. I couldn't figure out how to build the roof, so.
The roof is bizarre.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't have the shot from the top, but you can see like it kind of, nothing really lines up in all the
No,
angles.
I'm
It's
just
sort of-
looking at the roof column, yeah,
Yeah.
weird. Well, I don't have a problem with it being demolished, really sort of depends upon what you wanna put there, but, you know, taking it down, I don't think it's something that we particularly wanna preserve.
And I think we could probably, by making a mock-up, we're gonna get the most, hopefully, the more elegant roof line. You know, we're gonna try to, we'll be able to work with it more than trying to draw it up and then build it that way. It's just,
Well, are you talking about a scale mock-up?
no, I'm trying
No,
to actually
it's
mock it
full-size
up
mock-up.
inside.
Oh, really?
More like
Yeah.
landmarks, New York City landmarks
Yeah.
mock-up, where you're actually
Just like a
creating
blue
the
line
volume.
or something, just make a volume, because I think it will be the clearest way to do it.
Yeah, anybody having any questions?
I heard it well in workshop.
No objection to its removal.
So, make a motion to approve the application as submitted.
Second that.
All in favor?
And, a secondary vote, I move that it is a type 2 modification of a non-conforming structure. I don't know if you saw the email from John at the end of the day. We still need to do those findings type 2, the minor modification to
And
Is
I
it
would-
non-conforming?
the building itself,
Yeah.
non-conforming to the district,
Oh, okay, I thought
You
you
mean
meant like a
not
non-contributing?
seeker.
Non-contributing.
Oh, okay.
non-contributing.
Non-contributing.
I'm sorry, did I say conforming?
Yeah.
I'm still having trouble switching word. I hit my head last summer and I'm still thinking one word and saying another word out loud. I meant, yes,
Okay.
non-contributing,
And
sorry,
I will second that motion.
to type 2.
It's
Oh,
okay.
it's a
Type
type
two
2, we're still doing that, okay. All right, on the type 2 or rather, type 2 designation, all in favor say aye.
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 Okay, anybody opposed? So it's type 2, on the motion to approve the application as submitted.
So moved and
And I
And
second it.
seconded.
Aye?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Good luck.
Thank you. We'll be back when the mock-up's ready and.
How do we paper this for the building inspector? Because they're gonna be doing, I mean, obviously it's gonna get a C of A for demo, but when they're doing the mock-up in advance of the approval, will you include language in the,
Well, it says in here that, mock-up for the building inspector and HDRB.
it's right on the sheet?
Yeah.
It's on the drawing,
Yeah,
it's
drawing
on
number.
D1.
So maybe we just need to call that out with red or something, so that it's obvious.
It says new roof designed to be mocked up, new roof to be submitted to DOB and HDRB for approval prior
Go
to
up here,
construction.
got it. Cool.
Done? Go?
Thank you.
Done.
Thanks.
Oh, thanks.
Go home and get warm.
Kathleen, there were two motions, the seeker and then the submittal approval?
Yes, to approve as submitted.
Okay.
Come on up, Kevin. There would be a leak to come. So Kevin dropped off one set and I asked him to
Yeah,
bring in another,
into review, see, I brought some more copies, and these in yellow, but they're in
or
blue.
something just to be able to draw it out.
Here's the first.
And this is
Thank
the,
you.
Looks like you have it, but I can give you, this is the other drawing.
Or you gave me your original, I probably didn't wanna do that.
No, I think this is, I took the original,
Okay.
it's a color copy.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Um,
Oh, so you're connecting the two.
Yeah, so after talking with the contractor again, they thought, well, you're gonna have two decks within close proximity to one another. And the one in the back is kind of an orphan deck, there's no
Mhm.
door going to it at
Oh,
all. Um,
The deck that's
So,
already existing.
the existing
so
deck,
you just have to climb up the side or something?
well, there's a staircase,
Oh,
but there's
okay.
no door from the,
Interior.
yeah, so right now, basically, the house has a door with no deck and a deck with no door. So we wanna remedy that situation. And so, the original one that you guys approved just had, you know, a small deck coming out onto the side of the building. This is a photo in case you guys forgot. I only have a couple here you guys can see. This is the door we're talking about.
Mhm.
And so we would have had a deck coming out here with a staircase and then this existing deck. This will just be, add 5 feet to the side. And then it would go back 16 feet to connect to the
Existing.
existing
And so
deck
these
and
stairs
tie
go away.
into, those stairs go away and
Oh,
then
the
there's
stairs go
one-
away?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if you guys really thought we should leave them, but although these are not visible from the street once we get back to this point, but,
But
we
don't-
were
don't they
thinking
sit where the
since-
deck comes?
well, you could, this part is 5 feet from here to here. So you could tie right into here, and then you could leave this, but our idea was to just get rid of it and just continue the, railing to the existing deck.
Seems to make more sense.
Yeah.
Well,
That way you
actually,
only have one staircase, which is the one that you guys approved to,
if you
put
have
onto
two
the door.
staircases, the existing one,
yeah,
I mean, if somebody's over here, the only way they're gonna get down, since there's no,
to go around.
is to go all the way over here.
We thought of that, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hmm.
yeah, it's less practical maybe if you're going up and down a lot, but I think aesthetically it'll look better to not have the
Hmm.
second staircase.
You've also got it's a pretty decent grade change there,
Mhm.
right? So
5
it would be a
feet,
long
so
run
You
of,
can see in there,
it's a long run of stairs to
Mhm.
have a deck as
it's
well.
about 5 feet from the bottom of the deck to the back deck.
So are you treating the
Yeah, but it's already
underside?
there.
It's already there,
It's already
yeah.
there,
Are you treating the underside here the same way that you plan to treat over here?
yeah, it'd be exactly the same. The only thing is we have to add one more, footing, right, to extend out
Mhm.
5 feet. That'll be the
It's
only
on the
part
corner
that's the only part we're adding that's visible, I think, to the street, because then once you get past the house, everything else isn't.
And when we approved this the first time, can you help me remember, Al, we went with the minimalist approach in which we said leave it open, right? No,
Correct.
yeah,
No ladders.
no ladders.
But
right,
here you're
Right
showing
here,
that
got
the,
the posts are being moved to the
To
edge.
edge,
To the
to the
edge.
perimeter.
Yeah. That was, it might help to see the red, this is the same thing, that with
Uh-huh.
its changes in red. We'll move the pilings to the edge.
Well, and what are the posts made of?
The posts? What do you agree they're made of? Well, I think it would just be, pressure treated.
Yeah, it looks like it says, oh, the
Yeah.
decking boards, the painted pressure treated.
You've got
Painted, yeah.
the original materials list there.
Yeah, we're not changing any materials from the original proposal. It'll look more uniform, I think, too.
I think it makes much more sense visually, actually.
Yeah. And it'll also cover the ugly, right now there's an ugly exposed.
The concrete or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. I mean, I'm gonna paint that anyway, but there's a, what do you call it?
Door?
The piece of wood, the joist.
Oh.
That-
Oh, there's a
Yeah.
hole.
Well, the joist is ready for a deck to go in there.
Oh, just, they just
Kinda how
never
it was.
finished.
Oh, yeah, we know that one.
Along
Yeah.
with the many things, the many things
That
never
was just
finished.
there when we moved in, just that's how it was, yeah.
Ledger there,
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
the ledger, thank you.
Yeah. thank you.
I did not hit my head and I couldn't come up with
So basically, the sonotubes are mostly sunk, there might be a little bit showing, but that's.
the best we can, you know, we're not grading, but
Mhm.
we'll see what we can do.
Now, will the railing on the, well, the existing deck doesn't show from the street, so. But are you changing the railing on the existing deck?
It'll all blend, yeah.
All be the same.
Yeah, it'll all be the same.
Are we good?
So what's being added is this piece.
Yeah. 5 by 16.
Hi. And the existing stairs.
16-foot span.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Have a good night. And the stairs go away, so that needs to be noted.
Well, I guess the question I would have is this. You've got a post here. This is tying into this, the girder that's carrying the edge.
Yeah, and there's already a post.
There's a post there?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Do you have a-
Anybody have it? Do I have a motion concerning seeker? Well, this
We've already
is,
done
this
a
is
secret
a,
finding on this one, yeah.
this is an existing that we're just continuing, right?
Correct.
All right, anybody have any questions?
Nope.
No.
Do I have a motion to accept it as submitted?
I'll leave that
So
with-
moved.
Second, the, making sure that we're marking that those stairs are, it's not clear on the submitted
Yeah.
drawings that the stairs are being removed.
Right.
Here, somewhere over here. So, second. with
Well,
that.
I guess, you know, what is the width of this panel?
5 feet.
5 feet.
Yeah.
So essentially the stairs are right here,
No, stairs, yeah,
because it says 5 foot.
stairs are right here.
So the stairs are like this.
Correct.
Okay. And,
Slapped them.
Shocking.
Great with the kids.
Yeah.
and you're also filling this in, this,
Classic.
where the stairs are, the.
Sure, yeah, with railing, yeah. Yeah, so the same railing, it'll look the same all the way. All the way around.
And that'll be kind of a fun porch.
The view from the back porch is amazing. Right now, you kind of have to pack a lunch to get there. So,
We fully expect an HDRB cocktail party
we
on the
have
back.
to, we're
But if you
All
pack a
around
lunch,
down
you'll be
the
able to
street.
enjoy your
planning
lunch
to
up
be
on the
around
deck.
this summer, so we're hoping to do this early
Oh,
spring.
if you're gone, we can go up there and you won't know.
You guys can just hang out up there.
Okay.
You had a pool in the backyard, we
Do I
could
have
use
a
that too.
motion concerning the
Yeah, we have any meetings we
application
gotta do for that.
as modified,
So you're the person who moved it the first time?
as modified with the removal of the stair and
Who
fill?
moved it the first time?
I don't know.
Someone moved it already, because I
Oh,
seconded
I
it.
moved it, oh, I moved
Are you,
it,
sorry, you good
Carolyn
with
did.
moving it
Kathleen
as modified?
seconded.
As modified.
yeah.
Wait, so
Okay.
we're moving to accept as modified?
Yep, and I am seconding.
Um,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great, thank you.
All yes. Thanks for bringing in the extra ones.
Yeah, my architectural skills.
Totally.
Have a good day.
You too.
Aye. So let's get the lawyer out of the way.
Get the lawyer out of the way.
Yeah.
What? He's an architect.
Oh, Mora, Mr. Mora.
Just because he's carrying a briefcase.
you're in the room like, what,
What are
lawyer?
we talking about
Who's the
here?
lawyer?
Hi.
Damn it.
Carolyn just went to get water. Have you met Alberto?
Yeah, we've met, weren't you here before?
Probably.
I think
so.
Actually, I
Or
have
the
been. I
Todd
just
Park, it was
started.
one of those places, yeah.
Andrea, Connor.
Yeah, I'm Andrea, hi.
Hey. Hey.
Good to see you.
Good to see
Okay, now you got everything.
Apologize, I'm gonna print this out, but anyway, this is.
Workshop.
This is,
Flexible.
This is the, what side is it? It's northish, riverside facing, side of my house.
Came out well. I haven't seen pictures of it since you made the
Yeah.
changes.
It's a paint job, don't
Well,
look too closely.
you're really close to
But,
the water, yeah.
Yeah, it does wear on. Anyway, we'd like to put an awning up, and we're looking at retractable awnings. And the challenge has been that we have a very windy site. So I was looking for a retractable awning that has a stationary frame. And so I found one product that kind of fit the bill. And I'm just, so this is a photo of that's not the company, it's called Pinnacle. Pinnacle is, I believe, the manufacturer. And it's, you know, pretty self-explanatory. It's aluminum, painted aluminum framing, and
Does it roll back?
it slides, it rolls into a sort of concealed,
Like a case?
yeah, case, yeah. I have another,
Oh, this
Okay.
picture shows it pulled to different degrees.
right, it's partially retracted there.
So you can move segments of it individually?
In theory, I mean, we would only have one 16-foot segment, and I haven't represented it here, but the whole deck is about 22 feet wide. So the idea was just to, and it's because of the we didn't want to cover the whole deck to begin with, but it's also 16 foot is like the sort of natural cutoff for a single retractable awning of this system. Otherwise, you have to break it up into multiple segments. So, we'd like to do a 16-foot awning, basically centered on on that side.
Where would it sit in relation to the pediment, to the roof line?
It would be perpendicular, I mean, it would be,
So like from end to end?
No, if
No.
it's 22 feet
No,
wide.
I mean not
this
end
is
to end,
16.
but I mean along,
yeah,
Along
it's
this
a
line?
single, I mean, it's a, what's the word, it's a single pitch, it's not a, it would be pitched from the gable towards the outer railing. Single,
And it'd be basically above those sliders that you have there.
that's what I was trying to ask, but I didn't ask it well.
Mm.
Yeah.
above
Sliding doors?
The,
it would be above these doors, this door and windows, yeah.
And then you'll have to have structure coming down on the front, or is it small enough, is the width small enough that you won't have this structure?
We would have a post, we would have two posts, and these frames would.
So would they go behind your deck?
Yeah, they would be just inboard of the deck, they would be mounted to the top of the deck.
Got it.
Through the deck into the joists below.
So is there feedback, since you're in a workshop, is there feedback that would be helpful to you in particular tonight?
Well, I couldn't find any precedents for it, so I really didn't know, I mean, I know there's like, commercial lines.
We have
Right.
residential awnings in the district.
Yeah, I mean, that I know of,
Yeah.
I'm sure there are, so it's kind of looking to see if, if this style of awning would be, if the board would consider the style of awning, or not.
Well, the only thing in the design standards about awnings, and it's not specific to residential or commercial, is that they
Right.
be operable,
Mhm.
so they are operable,
Okay,
scaled to match or fit inside the opening of the window or the doorway it shades. Well, that's more of that's in the National Register
mhm.
area, and you're in the locally listed part of the district, so that doesn't necessarily apply to you in this application. I mean, in my mind, it is very visible from the river, but it's a structure that's been modified quite a lot anyway, and I don't think there's any detriment to the character of the structure to add the awning there, and certainly I can imagine that the sun pounds on you on that deck.
Yeah, the thing is, you can't use umbrellas really because it's so windy,
Mhm.
and they just get knocked all over.
and it's pretty far back from the river.
Well, no, I mean, one of the reasons we modified the thing was because of a previous application on that house, very visible. from
Previous
the-
owner, not you.
I mean, my concern would be, just, how it would be installed. Well, the first thing is that, it's very windy during the winter, but during the summer, there is none.
Well, no, it's not exactly, I mean, there,
I live right on the river, and so,
Yeah.
I know.
No, but
You've
I
also
mean,
got more
there's-
tree
there-
cover than they have at that parcel.
there's,
No.
we get hit from the north, and it's not a constant wind, but you can't have, if you have you can't have, like a conventional retractable awning, in theory, it would be, it could work when it's not windy, but it's just, it does kick up, without kind of warning sometimes.
Well, the thing is that, if it's windy, this framing is also subject to that wind. So, I mean, from what I would think is, if it's windy, you wouldn't have the awning out anyway. You wouldn't have it down here using this, and if that's the case, then the same thing would be true of a retractable awning. You wouldn't have the retractable awning out when it's windy. I'm not totally sure the difference, but as was pointed out, this has been the building's been modified, so that there's nothing precious about it.
I don't understand the concern you have.
Well, my concern is how this is gonna be installed
How it connects to the house, or how it connects to the deck?
Well, how it looks, because
The
you've
frame.
got two main columns, and your image went away. Because you have a railing which, that have posts, you
Mhm.
have columns that hold up, the deck.
So you're
You know,
concerned
if
about
we
more-
do something like that,
More verticals, the
Yeah.
additional
yeah,
verticals
because,
concerns?
15 feet,
It starts to look commercial, I think.
I mean, I guess I don't know, I'm from the Finger Lakes, and people live on the waterfront and in the wind all the time, and this is a really common configuration. I mean, I realize the Hudson River is not the Finger Lakes, but, I mean, in my mind, these structures sort of fade into the background, you don't see them.
I know,
S-
this-
So, and it feels like a waterfront element that you would, if you were sitting on the water, you'd wanna have as a break.
okay, well, the only thing is that you've got 4 posts that hold up the edge of the deck.
Right.
And then, the posts for the railing,
Yeah.
don't coincide with the way the posts are set up.
Right.
And then if you add this, which is
That's the
15
third.
feet across, now all of a sudden you have a third,
I know what you mean.
Would it be improved in your mind if the vertical members of the awning aligned with the vertical members of something else?
I think, I would sleep better at night, yes. But I guess, I'm just questioning whether or not you really need all of this stuff, only because of, this awning would be retracted when it's windy,
Yeah.
and the same thing
Yeah.
of a retractable awning, it would be retracted when it's windy.
But think about when a wind, I mean, it sounds to me like you're wanting to have those verticals because you're concerned about a wind coming up the river and it blowing up, right?
Yeah, believe it, I prefer not to have the framing, but I really thought a lot about this, and we've had, it's just, I know that what's gonna happen is we're gonna leave it up, and the wind's gonna kick up one day, cause it's a nice day out, and it's gonna kick up in the afternoon or whatever, and maybe it's just our exposure or whatever, but we definitely get some heavy kind of unpredictable wind, and it's just constantly causing problems with, like, we're even keeping an umbrella, we think we put the umbrella down, when it's, so it doesn't get knocked down by the wind, but, it's just very unpredictable. And, so yeah, I mean, it's a 10-foot, cantilever. So, one time you make a mistake and you leave it up, and it's, in theory, actually the manufacturers, they're kind of, borderline about it, but I think it's gonna end up just getting, causing damage to the siding or ruining the awning.
Can I put that this one?
Yeah, sure.
See, I guess what my thought is the damage you would have from a retractable awning would be the same as if you had that, and you had put it out and forgot.
But it's not,
this
because this isn't a cantilevered system, you're anchored at the posts.
Okay.
So we don't have, if, we've had actually we had a lightweight canopy, very cheap one, for a while, and as long as the corners are anchored, it's fairly stable. I mean, this was extremely cheap, but there's a much higher quality, system, and it makes a huge difference to have, to have the ends anchored at the corners. The fabric can take it, and the stress on, the attachment to the house would be a lot less. And yeah, in general, yeah, if there's a hurricane coming, we're definitely gonna retract it. If it's, you know, if there's high wind predicted or whatever, but it's just, the predictable stuff we can handle, it's just the unpredictable, you know, medium, pretty windy stuff that, it wreaks havoc.
I mean, in my view, canopies I'm forgetting the word.
One-
We're all having problems.
We're all having language, God, difficulties.
Sleep deprived, I'm
Night.
sorry.
Okay,
The awning,
yeah.
I think of them as kind of temporary. I know they're attached to the structure, but they're not,
A reversible
but
element.
it's so easily reversible. You take it off, you know, they're screwed to the facade or to, you know, one of the elevations. I don't see it as a very permanent feature.
This would be, you know, to your point about the space and everything, these are, you know, they're pretty thin
Yeah.
posts and they're held back from the
Is it
railing, so,
aluminum?
yeah, they're painted aluminum.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know,
It's just not a heavy structural, you know, so not a major.
Well, I also think that one of the things, the house has had a number of additions that have extended in all sorts of ways,
Mhm.
and that river facade has, I don't know, it almost feels, may I look at the picture again?
Yeah.
You know, it feels sort of disconnected in a way,
Mhm.
and although it's
Disconnected from what?
from the riverfront. It feels like because you've got this high deck and there's that shed addition underneath, it feels sort of separate and far away from an interaction point with the river. And I feel like a long sweep, even if it's a fabric sweep, sort of brings the house down a bit. It's temporary, it's gonna be pulled back, but it's another shape that sort of ties in the direction of the river again.
Well, the edge of your property is above the river, right? And it doesn't go down to the river's edge.
Of course not, the railroad's
It's
in
a
the
river,
way.
the
And
river,
actually,
yeah.
Bruce Campbell's property is in between
Uh,
the edge of his
And
property.
closer to the river.
I mean, this is about 500 feet back from the river easily.
Maybe the shortest distance is less than that, but,
Well, the shortest distance might be 300 or so to the cove there, okay?
It's
But
not
then you-
tucked on the water, is the point.
yeah.
No, it's not right in the water, it's not, it's no, your house is much closer to the water.
Right.
And then there's the Dockside Park
Mhm,
that's
mhm.
there too. you know,
Right,
so
yeah,
it's-
there's that, yeah.
which is quite deep. So depending upon what point on the river the public right-of-way you're looking from, it's set back quite a ways, and it's up, so it's, you know, it's really not going to be that terribly visible at all.
I have kayaked down that way several times, and I don't remember being able to see
You'll be
that
able,
house
you'll be
from-
able to see something,
a little bit, but
but, you know.
maybe if the awnings are out, but it
Well,
would be quite
I think-
hard to see.
I think Andrea's, there are two important points about this. Andrea made one of them, that it's a reversible element
Yeah.
on a structure that has been heavily modified already. So I feel fine with it.
It's about as reversible as adding anything, and so I don't buy the reversibility, and yes, it can be removed, but then, you know, so can the deck can be removed. But the building has been modified, and, you know, so it's not like we're trying to preserve any, you know, historic fabric there, and it's basically a relatively modern renovation to, you know, the building. For example, the sliding doors, that's a new element, so.
And it actually, you know, in some ways reduces the visibility of that element, which is one of the things that makes it look like a newer building.
What is the history of the, do we know anything about it? Like, was it built in the 70s, or was it
No,
like
no,
a
it
heavily
wasn't.
modified worker's cottage?
It
It's,
was,
no, it wasn't a worker's cottage.
Didn't go back that far.
It-
it goes very far.
Yeah,
But I don't think it was a worker's cottage.
No, it
I
was,
think it was a farm, because at some point, though, I remember there was like a chicken coop there.
well, the cottage was a chicken coop. This was the carriage house for the Campbell estate, as I understand it. So it's basically a barn, you know.
Huh.
Yeah.
So it's much older than,
I mean,
Yeah.
It's just been really heavily modified
Yeah,
over
it's just-
time.
I thought it was built in the seventies.
It's,
I think before you bought it, it was modified, we saw 2 applications, changes to the building, so,
yeah.
I mean, it's been modified very heavily.
Wow.
So Alberta's in workshop tonight, so you would need to put in an application, and we meet again, are we into
13th?
March already?
13th,
13th.
Yeah, the 13th of March is our next
Okay.
session, so it's probably a
Um,
new application since you last met with us, but it's all on the website.
Sorry?
It's a new, the application will look different than the last time.
Oh, yeah, no, I started filling it out already. Yeah, I saw it. How soon do you need everything submitted to put on the calendar?
We have the capacity to be more flexible now, the referral system has been improved quite a lot. So, but ideally, you'll get stuff in time for us to have a look at it before the meeting. So if you can get stuff in by like the 8th, by the Friday before, that gives folks time. We don't review color, unless we
Okay.
brought a book.
Okay, really? You don't-
No.
We don't do color.
No enabling
God.
legislation for
No.
color yet.
All right, but, do you have to we have to notify the neighbors, right?
No.
This doesn't rise to
Oh, okay.
public hearing, this
Yeah.
All
one.
right.
this is not gonna be a public hearing.
All right, so I'll get to you by the meeting.
If you have better information from the manufacturer than just that one picture,
Yeah, I do.
And
It's
you
just
can
this, they
represent
didn't
it.
have a good picture. This is, I think it represents what it would look like in practice. And I'll show it in, I can show it into the render it into the photo, to show what it would look like.
Cool.
All right,
You will need a referral from the building department, so give yourself a little bit of
Oh,
cushion when you put
okay.
in your application.
all right.
To make, you could put in your building permit application first,
I don't think it requires a permit.
check.
Okay, I will check. If it doesn't, then I'll just.
You're still gonna need a
Yes,
referral whether you
yeah.
need a building permit or
Okay.
not.
All right,
Right, we need a referral from the building inspector.
okay,
Yeah, building inspector.
okay. I'll contact.
Code enforcement.
Jeff will be, the clerk will be the person who sets you on your path.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Cool.
All right, well, thanks for your time, and I'll see you on the 13th.
7:13.
Okay, minutes.
So before you folks arrived, Michael and I figured out November and December.
Oh, good.
Thank you. I told you I would do them while you were out, and I didn't realize how fast Michael turned them around.
Oh, he's very
So-
fast.
Right, so I think they still got sent to you.
I
So he's
could
gonna-
not find them. I looked in my email. I
I
know
know.
you would have
Well, we
known
can't
that I
approve this one
was.
'cause
It's
Yeah.
okay.
we're absent.
He's gonna resend
I'm
them.
gonna resend them when I get
Yeah,
home tonight.
if you can resend them to Kathleen, that would
Yeah.
be
So the
because,
25th is.
you know, it's
still
probably
off the
something
table.
like
Yeah, so
I mean, you knew that I
7:25 we
wasn't
can't do.
here, I was absent.
It's cool. I
so-
promised that I would do, while you were out, I would do
Okay.
those and recirculate them for next time.
Sure.
We can't do,
First one.
The first one because we won't have a quorum on that.
Oh, we don't have Sean this time.
which date are you
Ah.
looking at now?
This has been bounced.
7:25:18.
We haven't made, okay. The last
That's
time,
why it's
the last
still
time
waiting.
we were here, yeah, because we only had 3 people. The
But while
last
we're,
time we were here, we couldn't vote on it.
that's okay. So
The same reason.
while we're waiting to be able to vote on it, there are a couple of changes.
Okay.
It was a voting session, not a workshop meeting. At the
Ooh,
top.
Ooh. Okay, so I'm gonna write voting session.
And Al wasn't here, so I need to be the one that signs. You can't sign it since he wasn't here.
I can sign it.
Oh, you can sign it?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. You
I
can
I
sign it.
mean, you know, the approval is a board action, so
Oh, that's true, and then you,
that's
okay.
true.
I have a question about tonight's minutes. Were we supposed to vote to move out out of workshop, or out of voting session and into workshop.
You must have received these because you're not.
I don't think,
Oh,
I think if
I don't know
we're
where
in
they
a
are right
workshop
now,
and
So
The
why don't you
voting
take
ends
these?
and then we're
So
gonna.
then,
I
then
can rescind them, but.
I think
we're-
resend them with
that,
those? With the, are the changes in?
I'm not trying to be
No.
annoying, I was just anticipating
Do you want
me to
writing it
put the
down and
changes
then I
in?
have
It's
to
just
ask,
these-
No problem.
it's just
Not-
these.
Yeah, no
I
problem.
will, I'll still resend.
because.
I don't know what I did with
November.
December.
moving
They-
from workshop to
December,
voting,
but
we
this
have
way
to.
you
Well,
your notes will be done.
yeah,
You don't
I
have
mean,
to read
the
through
issue is
a whole bunch
that
of-
Thank you.
the fact that he came over here and it wasn't an application doesn't necessarily mean that it went into a workshop session. He still can come in and talk to us,
Yeah,
and basically we can give him our feedback.
okay,
Since he didn't have an application, there's nothing for us to vote on, but I don't think he had a vote to go to a workshop session.
okay.
Michael, I don't know what I did with November, but he found November that I have already reviewed. So I will take the changes. I don't know where they are. I will.
Do you want me, I can write up, I have no problem with that.
I committed to doing them while you're
I
out,
don't
so I
mind.
will input my written notes and then
I have time.
recirculate.
I'm home
Nope.
baby
I told you I'd
in
do
the
it.
winter.
I'll do it. And besides,
Okay.
I've already gone through it once.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so
It's
the
no
only
problem.
one we can really do at this meeting is October 24th, because the February 13th meeting, also we don't have a quorum to
Oh,
vote on.
no, okay.
Because Al and I were both absent at that one also.
I guess, on 12931 Main Street,
Which date are we looking at?
well, there's only one.
10/24/18,
It's the only one that we can vote on.
October 24th. It's the second one.
Oh, it's
in the
one Andrew
package
had
you
just
just
handed
gave
out, okay.
It's the second
I
page.
know, I'm trying to get there, my fingers aren't working fast enough. Thank
Your
you.
fingers aren't working.
It says the motion passed 401, and usually that means one abstention. But we only had 4 members at the meeting.
Okay, hold on.
I
So
think
I'm
Michael
not-
has been
Um,
counting Andrea as excused, right? Is that what the one
No,
represents?
she
Yeah.
was there.
No, she was here for this.
So
meeting.
who's the one on that?
Yeah, I was
You
there.
were, you were absent.
Look at the
Listen, I'm-
top. You were absent at that one.
I understand, but it's not an abstention, so I'm asking Michael what he was thinking when he wrote
When I write-
401.
That there's one person on the board who is not
It's
present.
absent, yeah, that's how I read it.
But I don't know, we're looking at 1024, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know if this means that someone might have come in after, although they're all,
Well, sometimes what I have my notes right here. Sometimes what I do if I'm writing, maybe this is wrong.
well, in my notes, Kathleen, I have Kathleen absent from
She's
this
absent.
meeting.
Right, but I shouldn't be counted in the vote then.
Right.
Normally, when you write 401, it means 4 people voted yes,
One
0 voted no,
abstained.
1 person abstained.
What I usually do is I write 4-0 and then K Foley was absent,
You
comma.
don't need to, if I'm
If
listed as
it's up
absent
on
at the
top.
top, you
Oh,
don't
you
need
don't
to
even need to
include
do
an absent
that?
person in the vote.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
alright, so I'll just strike that.
And it's like that all the way
Yeah.
down.
Yep, got it.
I mean, that's how I read it, is 4, nobody against and 1 abstention. Because that's the way
Okay.
I've seen that.
Okay,
That's the way we've traditionally done it.
So
Got
for the
it.
future, if there are only 4 members present, and it would be 4-0,
yeah, because we've already established
So,
that member of the board is not
Fine.
present. That actually makes it easier.
and the same thing on 24 Chestnut.
I just need to, I didn't have time to read these before I left home. so
I'm sorry, I
just
sent them
flipped
kind
through
of late in the day and
them. 24 Chestnut is the blue one across from the gas station, right? why am I reading these? I wasn't here for that meeting. I can't put them anywhere. Sorry.
Well, if you see an error, typo, anything.
Proposed changes to the iron railing,
Where?
first.
124 Main?
And 124 Main,
Which,
that was, I think that was in the rear.
There's no,
Wasn't
it's a wood fire escape back there. There's no iron railings.
oh, I
Well,
think that was the, railing on the front, which is not iron.
Well, I guess the question,
Hold on.
I mean, this was not, it was a workshop. And,
Right.
and, didn't he submit,
He never submitted changes any changes to the railings.
not the front, but in the back, I think.
It's the fire escape.
Fire
Signage,
escape,
text
yeah.
on awning,
Removing
front
the fire
doors will
escape.
change, shed roof over B&B door,
I think that
railings will change. No, I think he proposed
And here he
changing the
says
railings
Applicant
around
proposed
the
addition of steel fire escape on east elevation.
east and west elevations will be altered in the doors, windows, vents, addition of
Do you want me to-
steel fire escape on the east elevation. All doors added will match previously approved front door.
Do you want me to pull the
So it's
file
got H
from the workshop? I don't know how much was still happening when we pulled the file.
No.
I think it should have been, I remember it being, and what I have here in my notes is that it was the railing,
At the front?
at the front, yeah. I think this is just a mistake that we wrote iron railings, because we were also talking about the fire escape, the steel, the steel fire escape, so there must have just been some confusion there.
So we just scratch out the word iron.
That's what I'm doing. Because I have
Well,
that, I
and
have it
why don't
in
we, in order to clarify, why don't we say iron railings at the front?
well, because the railings in the front are wood.
Okay,
So
or
if we say
to the
proposed change
railings at the
wood-
front.
Railings on
Wood railings at
Main
the front.
facade. Okay. Sorry about that, I didn't catch it.
The rear facade doesn't match the front. I think what he was talking about
The siding?
is the windows. Didn't he say that,
What are you pointing to now?
the rear facade?
Yeah, I know what he's talking about.
Doors.
Either we're talking
It
about,
must have been the doors and
or is it the siding?
the siding. The siding, the
And the
windows and the
windows.
doors in my notes, everything is supposed to match what was previously approved.
Right.
Nothing was left behind on the 24th, but that was the first workshop.
This is July, October.
Maybe I'll
24th.
just,
Right, and so there's nothing, there were no documents left behind for the 24th workshop on 10/24.
okay,
The first workshop in the file is November 9th. It does say new railing detail this sheet, but there is no detail on the sheet.
Unless it's detailed on some other sheet.
Let me look. Remember, we looked at a lot of floor plans for a long time. That's the only
Fascinating
information about it.
stuff.
So he did, at that point, he did propose the railings, and then at some point, they came out of the,
okay, I'm just gonna strike rear facade to match front, and I'm just not including that particular bullet point, I think it's confusing.
and you've corrected iron railings, because there are 0 iron railings on
Right.
that.
I don't even know why that's, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. I think it's because we were talking about the steel fire escape. So, proposed changes to railings on main facade is what I will write there.
This is, will rear fire escape be cantilevered or supported from the ground?
You'll recall that when that first came in, he was expecting to be buying the stoop. And then
Right.
the sale didn't go through, I don't know what went on with the sale, but the stoop had not been purchased by the time he was at the end stage with us. So the railing and stoop piece got pulled off
Mm-hmm.
the application, and we only looked at the facade because he didn't have control over doesn't have control over the
Okay.
stoop, doesn't own the stoop.
Should I note that somewhere?
Okay,
Probably should.
Well, it's noted in the minutes of the final decision.
Okay.
okay, under board discussion, HDRB consensus is that, instead of floor, I would say ground support is historically more consistent. Because that was the discussion, whether it was cantilevered or it was on
Okay,
posts.
so I'm sorry, how do you wanna phrase that? HDRB consensus,
Well,
is
see,
that,
the first part of the statement is, will the rear fire escape be cantilevered or supported from the ground?
mhm,
And we said it should be supported. Ground support is historically more consistent. The door awning that we're talking about is the one in the front, right?
existing
Yeah.
door to second floor rooms, yeah, that's on the front,
All right, so
You
I
want
would
me
just
to-
add the word front, the new front door
okay,
on
existing entrance, well, and
it,
front,
Door
and
awning, that's what-
existing front entrance door,
It's awning, not awning.
What is an asphalt shingle awning?
yeah. In other words, that was the
Asphalt roofing.
roofing.
ooh, whoops,
And well, actually.
On the
yeah.
awning?
It's not an awning,
It's like a little shed
It's a little
roof thing.
tent roof.
Roof.
should I call it a shed roof or a hip roof? Or
It's a
or-
shed
no,
roof.
On the back of the building you're talking about?
No, it's in
No,
the
front.
front, and the front door that leads up to the upstairs.
Oh, I thought you were
little-
talking about the primary door.
Okay, okay, so I'll say front door shed roof,
Mhm.
is that better?
I'm sure there's a word for it. Not just check.
I didn't know the word for it, so. It's so tiny.
These are gonna have to be circulated again anyway, so you have
Mm.
form to vote on them. So,
Okay, I think, okay.
Wait, I have to circulate this again?
1024, because I wasn't here, I can't vote on it.
But
Yeah, but
you
we-
three of
but
you-
we-
Al,
have-
Carolyn,
Okay.
me,
Yeah.
that works, okay.
Show proposed front railing and front door per HDRB suggestions. I think that, it wasn't a suggestion, what we were telling him is he needed to change it to follow what had been approved. So I'd change that to a front railing and front door per previous HDRB approvals.
Oh, right, because
Right,
That
the
railing
railing
came
and the
first.
door.
So how do you wanna say that exactly? So.
Show proposed front
Show-
railing and front door per previous HDRB approvals.
I still would, since you're modifying these so heavily, I would still recommend taking them, changing them, and recirculating them. So people can read them corrected.
Okay, so show those front wing, front door per previous HDRB approval?
Previous HDRB approvals.
Yeah. Okay.
And I guess indicate, not indicated, indicate any lighting,
Where?
under a couple of lines down, you have indicated, so just change,
Take
drop
out
the
the D.
D.
I don't see it.
There's the word,
Oh, indicated, oh, I see, got it. All right.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes as modified?
Yes.
All in favor, say aye.
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 So you're not recirculating them with the changes?
So this gets approved 3-0,
3-0.
I abstained because I was not present.
3-0-1.
301. So we have made changes to 725, but we cannot vote on them. 1024 we've just dispensed with.
Mhm.
213,
We also don't have.
we can't do that one, yeah. So that one gets tabled, Michael. 21319.
Okay. So now we're ready to do the design standards
Well,
workshop.
Before we move into that, there's a couple pieces of correspondence that need attending to. Let's see.
Do you guys want me to stay for the standards workshop, or?
No.
No.
That's why I was, cut you guys loose.
Thank you.
This is a paper copy, but I think it was sent electronically of the
Violation.
violation notice. There is a voucher. Approval for I keep saying cupper, it's not cupper, it's 29 to 35 market, it's not cupper, it's
Crop.
crop. It's related to the crop stuff. This can
The
be.
gun manufacturer.
The budget is in, that's all taken care of. Thank you for your help on that, thank you for your help on that, for your feedback on that.
Yeah.
Okay, whose fees are these?
I think it's John first.
Come first. Yep. Today is the,
27th.
yeah, 2.
It should go in the, oh, like this. Okay, so that goes to Michelle, right? Alright, this looks to be 75 Main that didn't get picked up and processed. That's the pack I left for you. Marzolo.
Oh,
Oh, okay, so this was when I wasn't here. This
Right.
was approved when I wasn't, okay. So I need
So
to
the
take
C of
care
A
of
needs to be
this.
processed and
Yeah.
sent.
Okay,
That's your traveling packet, and before you leave tonight, we'll make traveling packets for the other two. Or the other one that we voted on tonight.
all right,
33.
you want, well, do you want,
No, that's exactly what you need.
okay.
You've got exactly what you need to go home.
So you need one copy of each of these.
We can do it at the end.
Let's do it now, and then we can close the session and move on to workshop.
Take 3 for you and leave 1 behind in the file.
And it's supposed to be 5, so I'll take 4.
As long as there's 1 left behind.
In case. That one. This is part of the original application. This is part of the original application. This is part of the original application, so, this guy.
Just the one you drew on.
Well, I need that, because I've got to transfer those notes to all the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
So you have that, and that. That's the application. That's,
This is the one that stays here?
yep,
So put that in the High Street folder. You don't wanna take the folder, you want, the folder shouldn't leave the building. This is a pack that's meant to go with you. It's a traveling pack. The
travel.
folders stay here. The original documents all stay here. Okay, so I'll put this back in the office tonight.
This is the application,
Mm-hmm.
and these are copies of the application. So I should take the original.
No, leave the original.
No, I take the original because I processed the original. Take a copy. And
You should talk to Jeff about that.
then,
Once
okay,
the original stamp,
this is a workshop, so this stays
not to
here.
leave the building. What are those?
These are, this is the stay behind copy.
Okay.
Okay, do I have a motion to,
Hang on,
to
almost,
move to workshop?
almost. You asked to see, this goes to Michelle. This goes to 124. This goes with it. You asked to see, this is the code enforcement copy that you asked to see of the C of A.
Right.
It has to go back to Jeff's desk tonight. So,
Well, what my thought is that if all we're doing is making a comment on,
it's on the drawing. On the next, it's not in the narrative.
Which one is this?
This is the final C of A,
Oh,
and it's right here.
new railing
Yeah.
detail of this sheet.
And that should have been crossed off.
Okay, I'm gonna issue a notice which, will say that, this is, C of A, 19. Two, four. Okay, I'm just gonna issue a notice saying that this doesn't apply because, it was not part of the application. I don't see any reason, I mean, how would we reissue it? You know,
I don't know. So this is the one that goes back to Jeff's desk.
Okay.
Will you correspond with Jeff and Greg about that?
Yeah, I'll send the bill, you know, a notice on it, we'll distribute it the way all of the other notices are distributed.
Okay. So now we can go to workshop.
All right.
Blah, blah, blah. Just closing from last time, the annual report is not due until March 29th. And if we're putting in a
The SHPO report.
SHPO, a CLG grant application, it's the same deadline. So we need to start going through and doing the tally of how many,
Hours.
no, the,
Yeah,
how many buildings we processed, how many demolitions, how many da-da-da-da.
Have they, I haven't seen the report form. Has it been issued?
There was a form attached, I printed it out. And Andrea and Sean and I, in the last meeting together,
Yeah, I'm
went
starting
through
with
the
it.
questions they asked. They've simplified it quite a lot, and I made some notes from what we talked about, what we think we need. They asked questions about what training do you think is required, and the lion's share of it is tallying your activity in the last year.
Okay, and it's October 2017 to September 2018.
I don't know why they're so dreadfully,
That's the fiscal year.
yeah, I know. I don't know if you can understand my scrawls, but
Right, well, they're not even asking the number. Is there another portion that has,
that's it. That's all that was attached. It's a narrative. So are you gonna
how
take,
many, yeah, I mean, I've been doing them all along, and I had last year's, so. Okay, commission meetings. We didn't do a survey. Design review. Okay, what was this attached to?
the email from, McInerney asking for annual reports?
Okay, I'll take a look. If I need,
The notes?
I mean, as far as I can tell, the only thing that they're asking is how many meetings we had, aside from the other questions. And we can do those other questions in February, rather than March.
Okay. Right, now we
Okay.
can go into workshop.
Do I have a motion to go to workshop?
So
I-
moved.
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I missed the motion and the seconder.
I moved.
Kathleen moved.
I seconded.
Thank you.
Hard stop at 10?
Yeah.